would be most helpful today?
Ooh, there's so much we could talk about.
Okay.
So we can go in a different direction if this is something that we couldn't get to today.
Okay.
Um, but I was curious whether you could like look over my website and give some feedback on it.
Mm.
Um,
Could we do that another time?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So
Cool.
yeah, just because that's the one where I'm like, I felt really good about my website at first. Excuse me. Um, and I knew it was like unfinished.
hmm
I knew there was like work to be done on it, but I felt like good enough with where it was. And now
hmm
I'm like, I never got back to working on it because I've had too much on
Ah.
my plate. And like,
hmm
is that what's stopping people from like really converting,
Yeah. Yeah.
or like reaching out to me,
Yeah. Bring
Um,
it to group if
sure.
that's cool with you.
Yeah, I won't be able to go for the next few months,
Oh, okay.
which is why I was wondering, but I could
Got
always
it.
bring it back
Okay,
some
cool.
other time.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you. So I guess the other things are sort of around like questions I've asked before that I could go a little deeper on now that we have a little
Mhm.
bit more time here.
Yeah.
So like networking and mindset stuff and things like that. Um, I'm just in a place where I'm kind of feeling stuck.
hmm
Um, Partly because I don't have a ton of time these days. I actually have very little time, and
Uh-huh.
it's hard to be following up with people that I've met with before. Like it's hard to be maintaining some of those networking relationships, and I was struggling with that before, even when I wasn't quite as busy. Um, but I keep getting stuck in the like maintaining relationships phase, whether or not I'm busy. Like I am good at those initial like one-on-one networking
hmm
experiences. Like I have such a great time. I leave feeling really good, get along with most of the people I meet with. Um, and then the people I do end up like staying in touch with and like becoming more friends with. I feel like none of those have translated into actually getting referrals. And then the rest of the people, it's just hard to stay in touch with everybody. Like I've met with so many people. Uh,
Right.
yeah, so I guess I don't really know what to do with that at this point
Yeah.
because I know networking is really important and I enjoy it. I just have limited time and energy for it.
Yeah. So I would get really strategic. So like let's say you really loved hanging out with Susie, who is also like in a similar stage of building clientele. Um, I would not, if because your time is limited, I would rather you follow back up with Rachel, who you also really liked, but is full.
Mhm.
And needs somebody, sees similar clients, needs somebody to refer to. Or John, who's a couples therapist who sees like the couples of your individual person.
Right. Yeah.
So I would just be, even if you really love Susie, it's if you have limited time, it's looking at like who else did you enjoy that's actually going to be able to help you right now. You
Yeah.
can keep Susie on your list, and maybe that's just a quick, hey, how's it going? Text or email, but not necessarily like a let's meet for coffee. Let's, do whatever.
Mhm.
But to use your time in a way that if you are networking, not just to make friends, but to build your practice,
Yeah.
really being strategic.
Yeah. Yeah. I think when it comes to like networking with other therapists, most of the people I've ended up meeting are not necessarily full or like overly full, where they're like, okay, I'm at a good point. I'm not really getting people in, but I'm like, doing well right now.
hmm
So it's not like they really have people to send my way, a lot
hmm
of those people. And so like I've been networking with like some dietitians. Excuse me, but I'm not like an eating disorder therapist, and some of the
Right.
people I've met like are in the eating disorder space because those are the ones I just end up finding.
Right.
Um, and they see people who don't have eating disorders as well, like
hmm
people who come to them, but like some of them have their own therapist or whatever it is. I've also like been networking with like nurse practitioners, a couple of psychiatrists, like people who I've gotten along really well with and who are like,
hmm
I want to send people your way. Maybe I just need to follow up with them a little bit more on
Yeah.
their
Yeah.
radar. Yeah, but I guess with them, I feel like so many of the ones I've talked to there, they either have people that they refer to also who like, you know, I don't know. It seems like it's nobody else is overflowing to the point of like, okay, let's think of Adina and like refer to
Mhm.
her. Um, but also like I think they're the ones, many of the nurse practitioners I've met with are the ones who have like so many people on their caseload.
Mhm.
And so therefore they have less time to
Mhm.
network. And so I think I keep getting stuck in that. I know, like you've mentioned before, I can send an article or like a meme or just like a hey, thinking of you sort of email. I am so bad at just like sending random little things to people. I am so much better at like connecting one-on-one, like in
Mhm.
real time.
Yeah.
So maybe that's a little bit of where I'm getting stuck. I'm like, they're busy. They don't have a ton of time. I'm not going to bother them to like meet up once a month.
Mhm.
Um, but also like, how do I connect authentically with people in between those one-on-ones?
Yeah. Well, and I wonder about like making the one-on-ones as convenient as humanly possible.
Mm.
So like when you think about times in your work or times of like friends or whomever that like have the kinds of jobs where it's back to back,
Mhm.
um, like they're just slammed all the time. If you were to say, hey, like I just keep making up names. I don't know. Hey, person, um, I would love to swing by and bring you some lunch and just check in and see how things are going. Um, which day is best for you for me to show up just to hang out for about 30 minutes? So it's not like I want to take up your entire lunch break, which you don't even get all of because maybe you're catching up on notes or da da da. But like, I want to swing by. I want to bring you food. Like it's a pretty cheap way to build your business is to buy somebody a lunch. Um, for the people that you genuinely get along with and really like who have your clients. So I might just do that once a month.
That's fair. Yeah. A lot of them are too far for me to easily meet up with them.
Hmm.
Like a lot of the people I've met. So it would be like a lot of time and money for me to like get to where they are. Could that be like can I order you coffee? And like then we meet virtually one-on-one at a
Yeah.
time that's convenient for you.
Yeah. Or can I DoorDash you lunch? Because I think about like if they've got to eat,
Yeah. Ooh,
um, then yeah. So like virtual lunch, I want to DoorDash you
yeah.
whatever you like.
Okay. I like that. I think I felt like awkward about that because I'm like, I don't want to be like, let me buy your time is sort of what it feels like. But I know people do that in
Yeah.
person all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and especially like if they're stuck at work, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, and like prescribers so often are just like so slammed and they have such huge caseloads and it's just so much.
Yeah.
So,
Sure. That's
yeah.
okay. No, that's helpful. And this next part might be like my own weird mindset stuff.
Hmm.
But I get caught up in, okay, if I'm meeting, let's say I have like 4 or 5 different like nurse practitioners or psychiatrists that I know and like, which I probably have like around that number. I can't refer to all of them. And so like it feels very one-sided if like I'm hoping that they refer to me. I know like all the stuff about like I'm helping them because their clients need support and stuff.
Hmm.
I'm just so stuck, I think, in that mindset of like I'm taking advantage. They're doing this for me and I'm doing nothing for them because like they want clients too, even if they're pretty full. A lot of the people I've talked to are like, yeah, people are always in and out, or I have a lot of like once a month people or once every 3 months. And so like, yes,
Hmm.
I'm taking on more clients. Um, so I really get stuck in that mindset of I am taking advantage sort of thing. I'm not giving anything back to them because I'm not
Hmm.
also going to be the person who's going to collaborate with like a nurse practitioner, a dietitian, another therapist, and be like, let's put on this group together, this
Right.
presentation, because like hard no for me.
Uh-huh.
Um, so I feel like there's very little I'm giving them, even though I'm like, tell me what you need. I'm here to support, like, and I am truly happy to support. Like, I really am. I want to build other people up too. And that
Yeah.
feels good, but nobody's asking me for help or for anything that I can do. So, yeah,
Right.
what are your thoughts?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think while they might be taking on clients, they also know that most therapy clients aren't. getting meds.
Yeah.
So whereas depending on the prescriber, like the prescribers I tend to work with, most of their clients are in therapy too.
Okay.
So I think there is like a kind of a unidirectional situation. And when you do have a client that needs a prescriber, then I want you to think of those people and like who's going to be like truly the best fit for this client.
Yeah.
And you will end up referring to all of them. If you genuinely like them, then there will be people, like some people who just have more of the same flavor as this person than this person. And so you're going to refer to this first person. Um, so you will, over the course of your career, probably refer to all of them so much.
Yeah.
But for right now, it's just not what you can do. And you are bringing them, you're like sending them lunch, you're door dashing them lunch. So you are giving them something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. No, that it's helpful to look at it like that. I think of it as such a short-term thing. I'm like, if I want them to send me clients, then don't I have to do something for them too? Which it's not like
Right.
transactional like that, but I think I'm so, like many of us therapists, I'm so used to like, I don't need to ask for anything until I've
Yeah.
given you something.
Right. I'm the giver.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's interesting, right? That there's almost a sometimes a not deserving for people. Like I don't deserve to have your help until I've helped you.
Mm,
So for some people it's deserving like, and you're like, it's not transactional because you're building real relationships with them.
yeah. Yeah.
And so it like really isn't transactional as just like our friendships aren't transactional. I don't um expect my friend to buy me coffee because I got hers last time, you
Sure.
know?
Yeah.
So
That is a fair point. Yeah, that one's really stuck in my head. So I'm gonna listen back to this and like let that really sink in too, because you're right. Like I know, and this is what I'd be talking to my clients about too if they were stuck in the same headspace. But it's just so hard to internalize that,
mhm.
especially as I'm working on building my practice. I'm like, who am I to ask people for help? Not that I'm going to
Yeah.
anybody saying like, refer to me, please refer to me. Like I'm not approaching it like that.
Yeah.
Like in my head, I'm like, underneath, there's this part where I'm asking for clients indirectly.
Hmm.
Um, and so, yeah, it's just so hard not to get caught up in the like, I technically am asking for clients and I shouldn't be doing that. But like, I'm doing them a service too. I know that.
Yeah, you really truly are.
Yeah.
And I would say as a group therapists aren't great at asking for help,
Yeah.
you
Also
know.
fair. Yeah.
So it's feeling like you are indirectly asking for help also feels like deceptive in some way, even though like you're really just building a
Yeah.
relationship. You are reaching out to them because you have this private practice, but you're reaching out to them again because you like them.
Yeah. That's
Um,
also fair.
and you do need to be strategic because you don't have a ton of time.
Mhm.
So I would focus on the prescribers because they have many more people they can send you than the average therapist will, especially if the therapist you're talking to are also trying to get full or stay full.
Yeah. And then the ones who are full, the therapists I know or have met who are full are like, I want to start a group practice. And I'm like, great. I mean, I fully support them and I'm like, tell me what you need from me to help you.
Hmm.
And I'm excited hearing about like them being at that stage. And I'm like, oh, I wonder if I could get there to, I don't want to run a group practice necessarily, but
Hmm.
to the point of like, oh, I could run a group practice because I'm so full. But I'm
Hmm.
like, oh, great. Like the ones who are full are just like, I'm going to take it to the next level. And so
Yeah.
I have not, I've found it really difficult to like find the therapists who are full who are not taking that next step either.
Yeah. And I will say to anybody listening or watching, like, it's not the next step. Please.
I,
Only do a group practice if you love to manage peers.
I know.
Please. I have so many clients because of shitty group practices
Yeah.
where it felt like the next step. And the person running it doesn't actually have a big interest in mentorship for therapists or leadership with therapists. It just
Yeah.
felt like the next step and felt like it made sense financially when the profit margins are extremely slim for
Yeah.
group practice if you're paying people appropriately. So,
Right, exactly. Which is why so many of those group practices don't pay people appropriately, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
because
so
it's
many
hard.
go under. I mean, I have seen so many group practices go under lately.
Yeah.
So, all that to say, for anybody who's talked to Adina and is excited about the next step, maybe the next step is giving Adina referrals.
Is the next step.
Yeah, yeah.
Love that. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, okay. So focusing more on the like prescribers, maybe continuing with dietitians, because like the people I work with tend to, need a good dietitian who is conscious of like things like intuitive eating and health at every size and all of that.
Yeah.
They're not my best fit clients are not the ones with eating disorders because that is not my specialty. But
Hmm.
like many people have disordered eating
Oh
as
my gosh, yes.
yeah,
Most of us.
yeah, right.
I'm
Yeah,
disordered eating. And
you're
so,
right, exactly. That's just like
yeah.
the norm, right?
Hmm.
So I find that like having great dietitians to refer to is really awesome and has felt really good to give those names to my clients to be like, here, I know this great person or several great people who could be great fits in different ways. Like, let's talk to them.
Hmm.
Um, and so like I've tried to make some referrals, but there are people like most of my clients are still like insurance clients. I'm in network still with one insurance. And so some of the dietitians I know, many of them are out of network. And so like selling that of like, you're still technically using insurance, but like it's out of
Hmm.
network benefits and all that, can be tough. And so then on the other side, like the dietitians I know, like I said before, they have people that they refer to. And
Hmm.
that's where they get a lot of their clients, I think, from like therapists they know. And so I'm like, what am I doing wrong? How do I choose the right people? Because like I love talking to these people. I have such a great time, have good relationships with them. But yeah, it's just that balance again, right? Like, how do I find these people who like, how do I know where to invest my time? I
Hmm.
guess because I don't always know whether the person I'm meeting with has other people they tend to refer to.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I think that's another area where I'm getting stuck of like, I think this will be like a good back and forth referral person, but I don't really know. And then it like doesn't pan out in that way, at least for a while.
Yeah.
Is that like a
Are
patience
you,
thing or like
is it a what thing?
like a patience thing of like I can't expect in the first 3 months that they're gonna refer to me?
I mean, it is definitely a planting seeds thing. I have heard very rarely of people who like met somebody and then got a referral within the next couple weeks.
Yeah.
It's really about building that relationship and they get to know you as a person and they're like, oh my God, my friend Adina would be so good for this person. Instead of like that therapist I met, Adina would
Yeah,
be so
yeah,
good for this
true.
person. Um, and I wonder too if at some point in the relationship it makes sense to directly ask for a referral.
Hmm.
Like, or to say like, the summer's been really slow for referrals for me. What about you?
Yeah,
And if they're like, oh no, like it's been fine for me. You could just be like, well, you send anybody over that you think you need, that you think would be
yeah,
a good fit, like because you have a relationship with them. So it's not like um, it's not transactional because you're already buddies.
yeah, that's fair. Because I'd be fine if they said that to me, but like that brought up something in me. I just had a like an internal reaction. Like,
Yeah. Say more.
say that?
Why not?
Yeah, no. I know I can say that, and I probably would if I was close enough to them. But
Hmm.
maybe I feel like I have to be a certain level of close to like have that openness.
Hmm.
Like with my close friends, I would totally say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, yeah, it's like an I'm asking too much kind of thing. I'm asking too directly, and you're not supposed to ask directly.
I mean, it depends.
Yeah,
It depends. Like, I don't think you have to be besties to say it's been really slow for me referral wise this summer. What about you?
yeah, yeah.
Like that, I would say that to any therapist I met, any like dietitian, like
Yeah.
of course I have these conversations all day, so maybe that's not a fair thing to say, but
Yeah,
um,
fair.
like but to bring it up because they're in a similar industry
Yeah,
of like have summers been or has this summer been slower for you than it was last summer?
yeah, yeah,
And if they're like, yeah, it's been weird, you'd be like, yeah. Well, how about this? If I find somebody, like if I have a client that's a great fit, I'm sending them your way. If you have a client that's a good fit for me, then I'd love them.
Yeah,
You know? So it's just like you're both in business. You can commiserate some.
true.
Um, and you're not twisting their arm. Like they can also say like, yeah, totally, and then not do it if they
Good.
don't want to
Yeah.
send you people.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
but sometimes just like putting it out there because people don't know what your caseload is like.
True. True.
And
No,
yeah.
that's a fair point. And I could totally see myself like jokingly, half jokingly saying
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, send it my way,
Hmm.
without actually saying like, hey, I need clients, send them my way.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you're saying it's been a slow referral season, then like they know you need clients.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and it doesn't mean you're like, it's been a slow referral season. I'm scared to look at my bank
Right.
account.
Right.
Like you're not doing
Yeah.
that. You're just being like, damn, that
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah. Very fair. Okay. Yeah. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna sit with a lot of this later too, because I need to explore what else is coming up. Because yes, I could totally see myself saying that. And also there's still this part of me that's like, ooh, but I can't give them anything. And so I think I just need to
Mhm.
I'm gonna need to go back and sit with all this, like I said.
Yeah. I'd
Um,
also love you to think of like one of your close friends, and I want you to write down every nice thing either of you have ever done for each other to make sure it's even.
oh my gosh.
Right? Like that's
Yeah,
how it's sounding to me because
yeah,
like it's not like yes, these people aren't your closest friends, but they
yeah.
are people you get along with.
Right.
And you're not like um coming in with like finger guns, like you're not like, hey,
Yeah.
you look like somebody who should refer to me.
Yeah.
You're developing a relationship, you're being honest about your experience.
Yeah. I appreciate that. Thank you. I probably just need to hear it again.
Yeah.
Again, I'm gonna listen back to all this and just let it sink in even more because it's getting there. It's
Yeah.
getting there.
Good,
I
good.
think also it's in order for it to truly sink in, I need to practice it. I need to go out there and just
Mhm.
do it and let it be super uncomfortable and then get over it eventually. Because
Yeah.
that's how it felt with cold emailing people and calling
Mhm.
people I have no problem reaching out to people now and being like, hey, want to hang out?
Yeah.
Like that was so awkward for me before, but it's
Yeah.
just so normal now. Like I've even set up a couple of mini therapist meetups
Love
before
it.
with just a few people and just feel so good about it. And I would
Yeah.
never do that before.
Yeah, it's amazing how like that's most of practice building is
Yeah.
the anticipation of the thing being so
Yeah.
much worse than the actual thing.
Yeah.
And like once you've done it a few times, like you've acclimated, it's fine.
Yeah. Fair point. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna have to do then.
Awesome.
Since we have a few minutes, I figure I can also see if you have any more thoughts. I know I brought this up in a Q&A call, one of our group calls
Hmm.
a couple months ago. Um, I've been doing SEO, outsourcing SEO, and I've
Hmm.
been blogging weekly for almost a year. Started SEO specifically last November, but blogging since last August. Um, Not really seeing
Mm.
progress. I'm seeing progress in the data, but not numbers of moving up in Google and all that stuff. Not seeing more people come my way. Um,
Okay.
I have not had organic people reach out.
Hmm.
Um, I know I have to keep talking to them about it because I know
Hmm.
a lot has changed with Google. But I guess as I've been reworking my niche a bit, I'm wondering do I target different keywords? And I know that's not your area of specialty, SEO
Hmm.
or anything, and that's something I can brainstorm with them, but wanted to see if you had any thoughts on any of this.
Yeah. Okay, so you're moving up in the rankings. Are you on the first page with any of your keywords?
Some of them, yeah.
Okay.
They track for a bunch of
Hmm.
versions of the keywords.
And are you like getting a decent number of clicks for those keywords that you were on the first page of Google for?
It's okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like what I'm kind of assessing right now is like if a good number of people are landing on your website and they're not calling you, then the problem is your website.
That's what I'm concerned about.
Hmm.
So it's not like a crazy amount of people I'm getting, like especially with the changes to Google, the numbers went down a bit.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I'm not getting like an insane number there. That's why I'm stuck in the like, is it my website or is it like the search terms or does the search term that like we're really targeting, like I don't know, is that right for the people that
Hmm.
are really a good fit for my practice?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and when I ask other therapists or other people I know, like everybody's like, your website's great. And that's why I'm like, I don't, what is
Hmm.
it? And I spoke to my SEO person and she looked over my website. She also like was not super concerned about it being my website versus like the amount of clicks. I think I'm
Okay.
kind of stuck. And so I'm also thinking like, what else would I do if it wasn't if SEO wasn't the thing. I mean, I'm
Hmm.
gonna keep it going for a little longer because I'm in New York. It's hard to
Right.
like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
It's
I knew it was gonna take
If
a while.
this was Oklahoma, I'd be like a whole year and you're not up on the
You're
ring,
right, you're right.
But yeah.
Yeah, so like not too abnormal, I
Hmm.
guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I will look at your website sometime soon and just get back with you about it. Um, but if they're not like, oh, it's the website's fault, because if you do SEO and there's an opportunity to blame it on something that's not SEO, like you
Yeah.
would probably do that, right? If there
Yeah,
was concern and you weren't super
true.
ethical. So like there was an in for that person. And they were like, no, it's you're not getting enough clicks for me to worry about your website. So um, it's probably more like you need to find other ways to get people there in conjunction with the SEO. So um, yeah, it might be looking at the marketing fundamentals too course and seeing like which of those appeals to you most. Um, yeah.
Just like every other, like this was I got used to blogging. I thought I was not gonna like it.
Uh-huh.
It takes up a lot of time, but
Yeah.
like I've been enjoying it to an extent. I don't like how much time it takes and how stressful that can be,
Yeah.
and where my own perfectionism shows up in it. But like I do kind of like the process of going through it.
Hmm.
I really like the other marketing things. They're just like they're not totally for me.
Hmm.
Um, and take energy that I don't specifically want to give to like those strategies. I will go back and reassess, but like
Hmm.
these were my best
Yeah.
ones. I might also try some other directories aside from Psychology Today because I know
Okay,
we
cool.
had, and I'll rework my Psychology Today too as I've like rethought my niche a little bit.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I know you had recommended like looking up like search terms that my clients might search and then seeing whether directories come up or websites or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, there were a few websites that came up. I always get stuck. I know we'll have to pause in a second, but I just
Yeah.
get stuck with like, what are my clients looking for? So
Yeah.
yeah.
So what I want you to do for that is to like clear your mind
Mhm.
and really listen to your sessions,
Yeah.
especially the people you just started working with.
Mm. Okay.
And like just jot down a few notes after each of like where were they when they first called?
Yeah.
What was going on for them?
I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Awesome.
much.
Yeah. I will see you later.
All right. Really appreciate it. Take care.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.